You guys, let me just say this, just like as a clause, because I'm determined to get a Vlogmas video up every single day of August. But my wisdom teeth are cutting through. I have 3 cutting through. 1 is coming through at a weird angle, so I probably won't be as animated or whatever, just because it's literally hurting. So just FYI. But I took some pain pills. We're getting this video up. I'm gonna discuss why do I prefer domestic. I have said this in videos. I've mentioned it quite a lot, and I have said I am not a domestic. I mean, I'm not an international girl. I'm a domestic girl. Now what that means is I fly both. I can fly both. With my airline, I can fly domestic and I can fly international. Now, as a personal preference, just me, I prefer short international. So what I mean by that, in the where I'm based at, I don't want to be on a plane for 17 hours. I do not. I don't want that. I don't hold that. I'm not a speaker. I have no desire to fly to Iceland and sit on a plane for that long. The longest I've ever been on a plane was when I non-revved to Dubai. I'm sorry. And that was 17 hours. That literally 17 hours, 17 and a half going there, I believe 19 coming back. It was something crazy coming back. That's the longest I've ever been on a plane. I have every intention of going to Bangkok and Narita and doing these long flights, but I don't want to work that flight. All right, let me say why. It's personal preference. I feel like I'm talking so weird, but it's literally because of my teeth. It's literally personal preference. I don't like to be on a plane that long. Like, people are like, I don't understand, like, isn't that why you become a flight attendant, so you can do international? No, like, that's not why everyone becomes a flight attendant. I love my job, first of all. Second of all, I can go to these amazing crazy places on my own time. So in my head, I'm like, I'll just do that. I'd rather not work it. Okay, I feel like I'm beating around the bush as to why. Number one, why I prefer domestic. Shorter flights. I like flights that are anywhere from an hour to 6 hours. Give me a Portland turn, okay? Not Portland turn, but give me a leg to Portland, which is like a longer flight out of Atlanta. I don't know what it is, like 5 hours or something. Give me that. Send me to the West Coast. Send me to the Bahamas. Do not send me longer than a certain amount of hours, just because there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, I don't like to be on a plane for too long of a time, because I just start feeling like I like claustrophobic. Now it's different when you're working it versus just sitting in a seat. I think it's an easier process to work a flight that's super long versus just sitting there, because at least you're up doing something, you're taking care of things, you're keeping busy, that type of thing. But I just feel like I'm sitting here going, I just don't want to do it. And I hate that people think that like something's wrong with me because I don't prefer international. Now there are some internationals. I love the Bahamas. I love going to Nassau. I don't mind doing Bogota. I don't mind doing like Lima, South America. But those are like shorter international flights. So it's not gonna take us 15 hours to get there. It's gonna take us like 4 or 5, and that I prefer. So I've done, okay, now keep in mind, I have done international. I'm not gonna list off what I've done, but I have flown them, and that's how I know I don't prefer them. There's a lot of services, there's a lot more steps. If you're working in first class especially, there's all different kinds of things that are done for first class passengers that are, it's beautiful, like the setup, the carts, the meals. Like, don't get me wrong, because I've non-revved and gotten upgraded, and they are living right up there. Like, the food is so good, the ice cream. They're coming out with these beautiful like teapots and like fine china, and I'm just sitting here like, oh my gosh, I'm eating better on this plane than some restaurants that I've been to. But the service is so nice, and with that, understand those flight attendants are working. They're having to get all this china together, set up all these extravagant carts and like beautiful displays and all of that. Someone's having to do that. I don't like to be that person to have to do that. And doing long internationals, working in the back, you have gone through that whole 767, gotten everyone's drink out there. It felt like it was 500 people. It wasn't. You get to the back, you're like, man, we knocked that service out. There's another cart. Now we gotta pull it back up and do food. Okay, got everyone's food out. Whew, glad that's over. Bring the trash cart up. Gotta pick up all the trash. Gotta take the trash cart, put that back out. Coffee, tea, and water. I'm just like, what? When does it end? Why do we keep taking the carts out? I think this video, I don't even know if I can post this, because just with this tooth pain, I'm just like so like, woo, like a loopy. But for real, you guys, not a fan. I don't like to take the cart out like for trash. This is just a personal like thing. I prefer to come out with like a bag, because that way I'm not like hitting elbows and knees and feet, because people always stick their feet out in the aisle. Always. It never fails. They think the aisle seat is the best seat. It's not. And it's most difficult because I'm like tapping you, like rubbing your shoulder, like please wake up, please, I don't want to have to hit you, like please move your leg, please move. And it's just like that facial expression that I see that someone has when they've been woken up out of their sleep. I know that feeling. Like being woken up out of my sleep is one of my pet peeves, like hugest pet peeves. So I'm just thinking, oh, like I don't want to do that to you. And it happens all the time. It's inevitable. Those carts are 250 plus pounds. Some of them I swear weigh like tons, but you have to get the cart up. Like you have to start from the front and start serving everyone. So what can you do? But it's just the service can be really intense on international. Now you can't get in the flow of it. I know some junior people that only fly international, especially New York based flight attendants that are like, oh, I only do Reykjavik like once a week and then I'm done. Or I do my own call days and then I'm done. And I'm just like, good for you. I don't want that. Like, keep it. You can keep it. Somebody's got to do it. In Atlanta, I don't hold international, essentially, like as far as like longer flights to Europe or to China, or you know, anything like, what did I say, to Europe or to China? To Asia or to Europe. I don't hold those, so I'm fine with that. Like anytime okay, so I will say this. I was on call one day and I got sent to Bogota. Now, it was supposed to be for a speaker. I'm not a speaker. I don't speak Spanish. Everyone thinks I speak Spanish, even though I don't. So I'm looking at my trip. Like I just got the call like, hey, we're going to Bogota. I'm like, oh, yeah, must be a mistake. I'm not a speaker. Like it's fine. Wrong one. Woo. You know, giving you guys the heads up. They're like, no, you're going. Like, we understand you're not a speaker. Report to gate 821. And I'm just sitting there like, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm going to South Columbia? I did not see that coming. Not to mention, I only had pajamas in my bag. Like I did not pack for an international either. But yeah, I'm just not. Domestic is just, I find the flow so much easier. You usually get the card out once, at the most 2 times. Going to the West Coast, you know, the passengers I'm dealing with, I find easier to deal with a lot of times with doing foreign flights, doing international. There's always like a language barrier, or I'm having trouble like understanding what they're asking for, because there's all these drinks that they might have that we don't have in America. Someone asked me for something on this flight I was going to Detroit, and I was like, I've never heard of that, but they were like Romanian or something. So it's just it's a lot more I find it a lot more difficult. Now, there's usually a speaker with you, or some type of speaker to whatever language of the country you're going to. So you always have them there, and they're a great resource. I love the speakers. They're always amazing. I feel like Atlanta has the best. I mean, I'm biased, but I feel like Atlanta has the best speakers. Spanish, German, Italian, Portuguese, all of them cut up. And it's the cutest thing. But yeah, I had to talk with a lady once, because she was like, you need to get purser qualified eventually, and that just means that you can be like the lead person for international. And I'm just like, I'd rather not. Like, people just don't understand. They're like, I don't get it. Like, you're junior. Why don't you want to go international? And then I always feel like the bathrooms, like the line for the bathroom, it's like 16 people in line for the bathroom on international versus like domestic. Well, that can go both ways. But it's just, I just like shorter flights. I'm not a fan of the forms that have to be passed out whenever you do these internationals either, because everyone asks all these questions and I'm like, I'm just giving you the form because that's what I was told to do. I have to go to the back and go ask everyone, okay, so what's the flight number? Like, what do we put for the line? What declare? What do I need to fill out? Which one do I pick? Like, I'm just a mess on international, and there's so many things to do, and I'm just like, it keeps you busy. So if anytime I ever pick one up, I'm just like in that mood where I'm like, oh, I'm feeling adventurous, I'm gonna get that international pay, let's do this. But then afterwards I'm like, yeah, that was good, that will last me for the next 3 months. I don't need to do that. I don't need to go through that. So yeah, I'm just not into it. It's just personal preference. I know people that fly it and love it because they're like, one leg there, one leg back, plus you get crew rest. So it's just all in personal preference, but you know, it's just not for me. So don't know what else to say. Yeah, all right, see you guys in the next one. Bye.